Hey, I'm Zeb. It's a grey, wet, miserable day and I'm out in the bush for a trail run. I got a brand new pack to try out for my fast packing gear and I'm really excited to see how it does. The new pack I'm trying out is the Salomon XA25, and in this video I'm going to be trying it out, going through the pros and cons and seeing whether it's going to be a good fit for my fast packing loadout. Let's get into it. So the name kind of gives it away, but this pack is 3 litres larger than my Black Diamond one. That was 22 litres, this one's 25, so I do get a slightly bigger bag. With that, it does mean more weight. My Black Diamond pack comes in at 440 grams, and this one comes in at 480. It's only 40 grams difference for 3 litres. I don't really need the extra space, but it can be nice, especially if I want to do a longer fast pack, maybe with a bit more food, or I just want to take an extra layer or two. I got my rain jacket on because it was raining just before, and the showers are very intermittent today. So I suspect I'm going to have to take it off real soon. So you might not notice it, but this track does climb gradually. So it's not super steep elevation gain, but it is a constant gradual elevation for about 5 kilometers or so. I think we climbed like 400 meters or so. So nothing crazy, but it does steadily go up. It's quite nice to run on because you still gain elevation, but it's not super steep, so you can still run it. And man, the bush is dark. Like right now, just walked out into a little bit of an opening, but when you get under the actual canopy of the bush here, especially when the sun's not out, it sure is dark. To give you a sense of how much it's been raining, that little waterfall across the track there is normally barely even a trickle. So the reason I bought this pack, I wasn't actually looking for a new one. I'm very happy with my Black Diamond pack and it's still serving me really well, but an outdoor store here in New Zealand has been closing down a bunch of their shops and they had some insane deals going on. So I got this pack for 50% off the full retail price. So it only cost me like 130 something New Zealand dollars, which is really cheap. So 50% off, I couldn't say no. It was the last one there and it was in my size as well. A fun little story is that when I was first looking for a running pack to use for my fast packing gear, this was actually the bag I wanted. I wanted the Salomon XA25. I went and tried it on and was considering buying it, but then Black Diamond came out with their Distance 22 and I was able to get a really good deal on it, so I went with that one instead. So it feels like it was sort of fate that meant I was supposed to get this pack in the end anyway. Yeah, and I'm really glad to have it. It's a little bit different to my Black Diamond one. Has a few different features and operates a little bit differently. So yeah, so far it's quite comfy and I'm looking forward to trying it more. We've had tons of heavy rain recently and it's been a little bit since I've been on this track, so that slip behind me there is completely new. The river was super high recently and yeah, it's obviously just come through and completely destroyed that whole entire bank. It's crazy how powerful water is. Absolutely insane. Looks like someone's nice has come through and cut the track back through, but you know, all those down trees behind me here, they didn't exist last time. I do have one little river crossing here, stream crossing, and should be alright to do, and I don't think it's going to rise too much in the bit of time that I'm out on this run. But yeah, crazy. Whoa, here's another big slip that wasn't here last time. Yeah, that's a fun one. Track sort of disappears there. Oh, looks like another big tree has come down. Yeah, had some crazy weather recently and not a lot of sun. But yeah, it's definitely taking its toll on the bush. It is foggy up here. I don't know if you can kind of tell in the camera, but you know, it's surrounded by fog and the clouds. Alright, let's take off the rain jacket. It's not cold at all, and I'm just overheating like crazy. My base layer will get a little bit wet, but I'm moving enough that I'm not too concerned about cooling down, and I've got extra layers in my bag as well. Just gonna throw this on the outside, stuff it in that front pocket. That way it doesn't get the rest of my gear wet. Not sure how I feel about this strap system from Salomon. It's kind of nice to tighten it up. Pulls from a bunch of different points, but it's a little bit finicky to get on and off. Maybe that's just me, but yeah. This is probably the slowest I've done this run ever. Yeah, I'm just sort of taking it easy, and filming and talking to the camera and everything slows me down. So I didn't go out on this run to try cover like huge distance in a quick amount of time or anything. Just wanted to come out and try out this pack. Alrighty. Made it up to the ridge line. The wind is ripping through here. Just to start off with, this isn't a review of this bag. I literally bought it like 2 days ago, and this is the first time I've taken it out, so I can't do a review on it. I haven't used it. Alrighty, so I did try to talk about this pack when I was out on my trail run, but the wind was so bad that the audio from the video is just no good. And I don't want to put you guys through that, so I'm going to talk about it a little bit here. So starting with the vest, I did already touch on the strap system, but the pockets are really nice. We've got a zippered pocket on each side, and then 2 other extra stretchy mesh pockets. My 500ml water flasks fit in there really nice. I did find the zippered pockets to be a little bit of a tight fit to fit things like my camera in there when my flasks were full. I can do it, but it's not quite as roomy as my other pack that I use for fast packing. So yeah, I do wish the pockets on the front here were just a little bit bigger, but they are really nice, and the configuration does still work quite well. We don't have any side pockets because the side of it is more adjustable. So I can tighten or loosen this pack around my body better than if it was just pure mesh coming around. So the side adjustment on this vest is quite nice because it means I can cinch it in a bit more if my pack's not very full, or loosen it a bit if I do have quite a full pack. So although I miss out on a side pocket there, does mean I get a bit more adjustment. Now, although we have no side pocket, Salomon have added these mesh pockets at the top of the vest. I found I could put like a muesli bar or something flexible in there, and it didn't really bother me too much on my shoulder. But I did try to put my Garmin Mini InReach in there, and because that's a solid device, it kind of dug in and didn't really work in that pocket. So yeah, I can put flexible items in there, but otherwise I can't really put much else in. Things like gels or electrolytes, or even just a muesli bar that bends slightly. Yeah, there'll be good options to throw in those pockets there. I found the harness to be quite comfortable. Didn't bother me, didn't rub, didn't dig in anywhere. It was really nice to carry. The mesh was nice and comfy, breathed pretty well. And yeah, I don't really have any complaints about the harness itself. Flipping over to the side of the pack, we do have lots of cord running through the sides of the pack, so I can attach things there. I threaded my sleeping mat through the side there and carried it on the side of the pack. You can also use these cords to cinch the pack in more. So if I'm not carrying a lot of stuff and I don't want it to bounce around a lot, then cinching that in is going to help compress everything and hold it in the pack. Big fan of the front mesh pocket on the bag. This is pretty much a requirement for all my packs these days, but this just means I can throw things that I quickly want to be able to grab in the front of that pack. I even stuffed my rain jacket in there on my run. That's so that all the moisture that was on my rain jacket, I'm not then putting into the pack with all my dry gear. Can leave it on the outside, quick and easy to grab, and means, yeah, nothing else gets wet. Now the Salomon pack does have a lot of cords and straps and things everywhere. When I first got the pack, I was like, whoa, this is all like crazy and confusing, and it all seemed a little bit much at first, but it does work quite well once you get used to it. This pack is a roll top, which is really nice. Helps to provide a little bit more weather resistance, and also gives me a big giant opening into the main body of the pack. So I can open that up and it's nice and easy to grab stuff. Anyway, back to that cinch cord system. So if you roll the pack up, you can then use that cord to cinch it in, and that helps to bring the sides down and secure it all together. It's nice and easy to open. You just grab that and pull, and that releases these sides. It's a little bit harder to do when there's nothing in the bag. That releases the sides, and you can open it back up, and you've got that nice big hole into the middle of the pack. Another cool and interesting feature about this bag is the inside of this pack is actually seam taped. So the seams on this pack are all seam taped, which means they're going to be quite weather resistant. I hesitate to say it's fully waterproof. Salomon doesn't market it that way, and they do state it's highly weather resistant. I would probably still use something like a pack liner to keep some of that moisture out, but being quite weather resistant means it's not going to absorb a lot of water, it's not going to get as heavy, and you're not going to get as much moisture inside the bag. So all the cords on the pack can look a little bit confusing, but it does work quite well and it's quite efficient and streamlined. I can get the pack open nice and easily and cinch it all down without too much trouble. It's not something I personally use, but there is also a gap in the back there to put a water bladder in if you do want to carry that instead of bottles, or you just need to carry more water. One other thing I almost forgot to touch on is the waist belt strap on this pack. This is something my other Fastpacking bag doesn't have, and I was quite interested to see how it performed and if it made any sort of difference. So throughout my trail run, I tried running with it clipped around me and also unclipped. And I did find that when it was clipped around, it did help to stop some of that bouncing and just keep the pack a little bit more stable. So you can remove this from the pack, but for now, I think I'm going to keep it. I did just like how it kept the pack that a little bit more secure for me. And it doesn't add that much weight, but time will tell to see if I do really like it or not. I do want to try it out on a longer trip to see if it bugs me during the day for longer periods of time. But yeah, for now, it's staying on the bag, which is another nice feature to have. That's pretty much most of the features of the pack. There are a bunch of clips here to secure like hiking poles. You've also got a few options to do it on the front of the vest as well. I've never carried poles on the front, but I do think I'd like to give it a go at some point just to see how it carries. Normally my hiking poles are in my hand, so I don't really attach them to the pack that often. So it's slightly bigger than my current Fastpacking bag, and the features on it are a little bit different. I'm really excited to use it a bit more, and I do want to get it out on a bigger Fastpacking trip at some point this year. I'm super happy with it, and like I touched on earlier on in the video, I got it for an absolute bargain, and I just sort of felt like it was meant to be. Last one in the shop, my size, and 50% off. I can't really complain. Really stoked with it, and gives me another option to use for my Fastpacking adventures. That's enough of me waffling on about this pack. Let's get back out onto the trail. I've still got a few things I want to touch on. So I made this video to try to give you guys an insight into what I look for in a bag. The pros and cons, and you know, just to bring it out on a trail run and see how it goes. So is this my perfect Fastpacking bag? Well, that remains to be seen. It's definitely got some features that I like compared to my other one, but there are a few things that I'm not quite sure how they're going to work out, and I only really know long term and when I give it a bit more use. I do also want to say that even if a pack is perfect for one person, it might not be perfect for another. We're all different people, we all have different preferences, and we're also all different shapes and sizes. This pack fits me quite well, but it might not fit you well. So it's great to get recommendations from other people, and it can help to guide you into what you're looking for, what you may or may not want in a pack or any other piece of gear. But just because it's perfect for someone doesn't mean it's perfect for you. So for me personally, the jury's still out on this pack. I know it's really popular with a lot of people, and I've seen quite a few people use it for fast packing. Compared to my Black Diamond pack, there are some things that I really love about this one, and there are also some things that I really like about my BD one. So it just depends on preference and use case. I'm definitely going to be using this for the foreseeable future until I decide whether or not it's the main sort of fast packing bag I want to use. Trial and error is unfortunately just all part of this game, and unfortunately that can be quite expensive at times. You might buy something that you think is really good for you, but it turns out that it's not quite what you're after. So do your research, and hopefully you find the thing you're looking for. Almost done with my run. It's been a good one, pretty slow, but I had fun trying out this pack. Alrighty, so I've made it back just as the rain's coming in again. Last thing I'll leave you with is the stats for this run. So just over 12 kilometers, 12.12. It was a bit slow, 2 hours and 3 minutes. This is actually the slowest I've done this run, but I was filming and walking and talking, so I wasn't really trying to run the whole thing. It was just a nice chill one, and with the wet weather I wasn't moving as quick as normal anyway. So it was still nice to get out. This run wasn't about trying to cover a lot of distance in a short amount of time or anything. That's pretty much it. Elevation gain was 447 meters. So yeah, it's about a 400-meter climb or so up to the ridgeline there. It was nice to try out this new pack. Love to get it out on an overnight fast packing trip at some point. Thank you very much for watching. If you've got any comments or feedback, I'd love to hear them down below. Cheers.